Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afker, and thank you so much for joining us today in this new call of your divine uniqueness. So glad to connect with you again here on the show. So thank you for your presence and listening to us to this replay. This is a pre-recorded call. So as I mentioned to you before on the email, due to the time zone difference, yeah, but we received your questions, and later in the second part of the call, we will take some of your questions, and Isha will answer those. So yeah, today I'm very excited because Isha Patel is with us on the show for the first time. I really love the work that she does and huge difference that she does, helping so many wage worker, light workers to really share their gifts and make an impact, helping others, and really like share their message on a larger scale. And also we love her gifts and the healing work that she does. So she will be sharing with us more about that. You will learn about that, and also we'll be talking about different things related to the energies we are experiencing and how we can create more abundance in our life and share our gifts and also deepen our connections, our inner connections. So I'm very excited about that. And before we start, I would love to share with you a little bit about Isha. So Isha Patel is an international channeler, speaker, author, and healer. Isha is the founder of Origin Activation Method, a powerful multidimensional energy healing modality that is currently being taught to world-class coaches, speakers, and entrepreneurs. In the last 5 years, Isha has helped over 10,000 people awaken and step into their purpose with abundance. Isha now helps 6- and 7-figure transformational leaders 10x their transformational abilities to make quantum leaps in their businesses for maximized profits, impact, and ease with Origin Activation. And yeah, so with that, Isha, welcome to the show. We're happy to have you with us.
Thank you for your beautiful welcome. I'm really excited to have this first conversation with you and your guest today.
Wonderful. So yeah, maybe in the beginning, I would love if you can tell us more about yourself and also the work that you are doing.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a big question, but I guess my journey started about maybe 6 years ago now in the field of just helping people to awaken and to activate their capacity to be more empowered, be more connected, you know. And so I guess my passion at the moment is really striving towards this vision for what I call the 5D consciousness, or the higher level consciousness. And I've just been really following the last few years a divine guidance within me that has just said, Isha, you have to help these people, you know, you have to help these people to awaken and to know that there is a better way. And so a lot of my time, like all day, every day, goes into how can I support humanity to raise their consciousness, to lift that vibration, whether it's through their businesses, through their healing work, through their coaching, you know, speaking, whatever they're doing, to transmit that frequency and keep sharing that message of love and light with the population. And I do that through my modality, Origin Activation. So I teach people how to heal, how to transform, how to rise above their stories and their beliefs, you know, and to recognize that ultimately we are the most powerful creators of this reality. You know, everything that's happening, especially right now, the last couple of years, there's been so much going on in the world out there. And yeah. My key message is always that actually we're the creators, you know, no matter what anyone else tells us, we're the creators. Our frequency gets to create our reality. And so all day, every day, I teach people how to raise their frequency so that we can create a new reality that is one of our choosing and the world that we actually want to live in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And also, like recently, like many from our audience on the show, also through their comments and questions, they really ask about how can they share their gifts, how can they make an impact and also contribute to this awakening, because we are all feeling this awakening, and more people are into that also. So maybe if you can tell us, maybe like in the beginning of a journey, when there isn't like so much clarity about how we can step out and share our gifts, what will be your advice for our audience who want to start in that journey?
Look, if you're just starting out, it's so important to know that it's a very, very multifaceted approach. And there's never going to be just one thing that is the ultimate holy grail of building a successful business or getting into that space where you're teaching, guiding, and leading other people. What I will say is that the one thing that has always been consistent for me has been my internal meditation practice. And this is the piece that keeps me connected. There's so many approaches. I mean, when it comes to being successful and to being the person that can lead other people, you have the energetic part of it, you have the practical part of it. I mean, you can't avoid sales and marketing, it's just, you still have to do it. You can't avoid, accounting and tax and like all that sort of stuff as well. Like you got to do the practical stuff, but the how and the order in which you do certain things for me has always been guided by my inner guidance. And I think sometimes where people try to it's like, one of the things I say is like, if you have alignment without action, it's very ungrounded. Like a lot of people out there in spirituality, they're connected. You might be connecting to all sorts of angelic guides and beings, but if you can't sell and market, then what's the point, But it also goes the other way where, you have entrepreneurs who are hustling. And, so they're the people that have action without alignment. And that's just inefficient. I mean, if you're just taking random actions all the time, but you're not being guided, then what happens is you lead to burnout, you get frustrated, you think that you've done everything and things aren't really working. When you have the alignment and the action together, that's the sweet spot. So it's giving yourself the time to be and to find that inner voice, to do the meditation practices, to really, step into that high frequency. And then you have to take action from that space, because you can't just sit around meditating all day and assume that the planet's going to awaken, because there's so much practical stuff here in the 3D that also needs to be implemented. So I think it takes a lot of courage when you're first starting out to recognize that you've probably got a learning curve on both ends. You probably need to increase your spiritual practice, and you probably need a business coach to help you with the other side of it as well. And so I've done both in the past. I've coached business, like actual strategic coaching, and I've also done the spiritual side of it. These days I'm mostly just focused on the spiritual stuff, and I say to my clients, go and get a business coach, but I think you'd be foolish to try and do one without the other, because if you have a business coach without a spiritual coach, then you'll also find that you're not utilizing your gifts to the best of their ability, and you'll end up just doing what like cookie cutter models or what other people are doing, and you won't be doing what's in alignment for you. And the only way to get the best, most efficient results are when you are aligned and you're taking action from a strategic perspective as well, and you're putting the two together, and that's when a lot of the magic starts to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And also I experienced that when I started like finding the balance between the two. In the beginning, it was not that obvious, but with time and also having more and more experiences, I started to learn how to bring those together, because we are human beings. We cannot just be on the spiritual realm. Like we need to bring that and embody that in the physical world. And the physical world has many things and many actions that we need to do. So also like from your experience with your clients, how was it in the beginning? Because from my experience and also from some people that I know, like the first thing that they do, it's not the one that they stick with it. It's more about a learning experience and having more clarity about what they want to offer. So what was it like for you and for your clients?
You mean like finding the clarity, like how that piece of it comes about?
Yeah, like do we need to have the clarity about what we will offer in the beginning, or we just need to start with something,
Yes.
and then with time we can get more clarity about that?
Honestly, just do something, start somewhere.
Yeah.
do something, anything, actually I do get this question a lot, because sometimes people think they need to have the full vision or the full picture in place. I mean, I can give you an example from my own life. Like, so when I went through this whole journey of awakening, it was sort of mid 2015, and I didn't have the whole journey. All I had was like a message that said, do this one thing. And it was so I received a bunch of sacred geometry codes, and these images just sort of popped into my head, and I got about 10 of them back at the time. And I'd never done anything. By the way, I had no experience in meditation, no experience in energy healing. I'd never done a Reiki training, nothing. Like I came in with zero experience, no qualifications. And suddenly I go through this awakening, and next minute, I'm channeling, I'm feeling, I'm receiving. I didn't even know what it was. I thought I was going crazy. Like I'm just trying to navigate this whole space. I didn't really have a lot of support at the time as well, because I think a lot of it happened very suddenly for me. So I kind of just, had this awakening, and I was doing a meditation practice, which is what kept me sane. But I didn't really know who I could like talk to or, ask questions to, anything like that. And so a lot of it was just trusting in myself and trusting in the weird ass guidance that I was getting, which at the time was like, hey, Isha, you should sell this thing and run this event, and do this thing with the people. And I was like, what are you talking about? So like, it's a little old me who's like 25 years old, has never facilitated anything before. The first event that I ever ran was a DNA activation. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't even know if it was going to work. I was prepared to refund everyone. I thought I charged them $15 back then for a ticket. And then I thought, you know what, if it fails miserably, I give them all their money back, no loss, it's fine. Like no problem. But that's not what happened. What actually happened was people came to my very first event and had a very powerful transformative experience that people were still talking about like years and years down the track, and so I guess that gave me a level of confirmation to be able to trust in the wisdom and the guidance that I was receiving, because for me, it really was a lot of blind faith. And I think some people at that point can get really caught up in, oh, but maybe I'll just wait for more information to come, or maybe I'll wait till I have the next piece. And what I always say is, you don't need to know the whole staircase. You just need to know the next step. And if you can get as far as going one step and a second step and a second step, and then, and before you know it, there's been 10-second steps, and you go, oh, I think I got somewhere, and that's kind of how it was for me. So yeah, if you're at that real early stages of the awakening, just do something, do anything, like be brave, and don't be afraid to try something new. Because the other thing is as well is like, there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. So the universe will give you feedback, and if you get maybe part of the picture and not something else, you'll find out pretty quickly, and so I think you have to just move. You have to just take action, and follow the little whispers that come along the way. Because the other thing that happened for me was, each time I followed the guidance got clearer. Because at first there was all the doubts, and there was all the other thoughts, and all the, there's like the negativity, and the Isha, you can't do it, and the what do you think, who are you to be doing this work, and all the stuff that gets in the way. But each time I just shut that off, and I said, okay, you know what, I'm going to choose. This is the guidance I'm getting. I know it sounds crazy. What if I just give it a go? And it took a bit of courage to say, okay, I'm just going to do it anyway. And so I did. And then the next time the guidance got louder, and then it got louder, and then it got louder. And I mean, I never knew, back then, that I'd be doing this work full time. My first degree was in engineering, and then I studied to be a teacher. So I just thought, have my little classroom with my kids, and that was going to be my life. And then I guess life had a different plan, and I'm glad I followed it, because I think now my life is probably 1,000 times better than anything I could have created. But that's because I followed step by step by step, in total trust of the divine, not knowing anywhere what it was going to go to. It was just like a step-by-step unfolding. So yeah, my advice is, do something, do anything, again, like, I don't know, just try something and see what happens, because you can't really get it too wrong in this world, I don't think.
Right, I agree. And yeah, I really love that. And I agree with you. Like, we cannot have this trust in our guidance if we don't follow it. And like you said, when we start following our guidance, it gets stronger and stronger. And then we have this very deep trust in the guidance we receive, and also the connections that we have, like whether with our higher self, or the galactic being, if that's the part of the message that we are here to share. And also, part of our audience are already healers and coaches, but they still don't know what to do to move to the next step. It's how to share their message on a larger scale. What will be your advice for them?
Well, again, there's an energetic component and a practical component. In order to be reaching larger audiences, you do need to expand your energy field. There is a level of letting go, and a level of maybe like healing of self that needs to happen in order to go, okay, this is what I'm actually available for. And I've been through that journey. I mean, gosh, I still remember back in the day when I was struggling to fill like 10 people in a room, and actually 6 months after I started my business, I had this real beautiful passion and intention, and I really wanted to do something to help people. But energetically, I was still, healing from things that had happened in my life. I was going through my own journey in that. And so each class that I held, I used to run these meditations on Friday nights by donation. And yeah, like each week, sometimes maybe one person would come, two people, and this went on for 6 months. At this point, a lot of people would give up. They'd be like, that's it, I'm done. But I persisted, really persisted. And I remember getting to the 6-month mark, and I, on this one particular day, again, no one showed up to my class, and I was so frustrated. I literally just like threw everything into the universe and said, like, literally swearing. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I have showed up every single Friday. Why aren't you bringing me the people? Like, and then I said, look, I'm ready for this. And, I think something happened in that moment for me, in that I gave it a deeper level of commitment. Because up until that point, I was just like, I'll just take it as it comes, I'll just see what happens. And if it works, it works. But I think it got to a point where as I kept persisting, there was that journey of, well, actually I am committed to this, even if nobody comes, I'm still showing up. I'm still turning up on a Friday night. So hello, send me some people. Like, I want to do this. And I think that was the moment where everything changed, because the next week, 10 people came. And I'd never had that before, but that was after, me 1 week before, like crying in my studio, like, hello, universe, like, what is going on here? Like, this is crazy, So I think there's definitely a level of expansion in self that needs to happen. Also a level of commitment and readiness, where you have to really be honest with what it is that you're available for. Everyone can say, oh, I want to reach millions of people. Oh, I want to, help X many people, healing and coaching and do all this stuff. But when push comes to shove, I mean, there are some definite hurdles in the way. I went through this a year before last, because some people know me through, if you type in Isha Patel on Google, Isha Patel Uluru still comes up as a top search term. And the reason for that is that I went to Uluru in December 2020 for the solstice, and there was a big event that was happening there, and I won't go into all the details of it, but basically it was a very controversial thing that happened at the time, and I just happened to be in the crossfire of some indigenous thing and something else, and basically just I became a little bit famous because of that, right? So I posted a video from Uluru, and that video went completely viral. I'm talking like 50,000 views in like 24 hours. It was insane. And so it still comes up on SEO if you actually like search my name. Some of the stuff isn't there anymore, but yeah, so what happened for me after that was someone got mad at me for being there, and it was a whole thing, and they took a picture of me and they turned my face into a meme, like a really nasty meme. Like, it was really, really quite rude, and they put all this stuff on there that wasn't even true. Like, they were accusing me of all these horrible things, and they didn't even know the story, some like random person who doesn't even know me. But anyway, so my claim to fame that year was my face got turned into a meme and got distributed to a page with 200,000 followers. So these people, this mob of angry people that didn't want me in Uluru at the time, were blasting my social media. They came onto my YouTube channel, my Instagram, Facebook, like everything, every channel of mine got bombarded with negative feedback, like all around. And I just took a deep breath, and for 3 days I just dealt with this, and it was almost like a little, I guess, a joke from the universe. It was like, well, you wanted to be famous, right? And then I got this like sudden overnight fame, just not in like the positive way that I was hoping. And all publicity is good publicity. A lot of good came out of it the other end as well. But this is the thing, like, people say they want X, Y, and Z, but are you really prepared to do what it takes? Because sometimes it's so easy to play small and just, facilitate with your little group of friends and your mom and your auntie and your cousin, and that feels safe. When you get out into the public and you actually want to be having this impact, there's a level of resilience and energetic expansion that you have to have. And the only way to do that is to really step into the deepest level of commitment and to let go of all resistance, to let go of validation. I think that's a really big one. And you have to stop caring what people think about you, because as long as you care what other people think, you will never succeed to the point of actual global impact. Because no matter what you do, no matter how good of a person you are, no matter how big your vision is, someone out there is going to hate you, and I'm speaking from experience here when I say, like, I know me, I come from the purest place with the purest intention, and there are people out there that hate me, but I didn't experience that level of, I guess, fame and publicity until I got to a point where I was ready to let go of that. And so I really learned the hard way. I had to just take a deep breath and go, you know what? I'm aligned to my mission and my vision. And if anything, it brought me more centered in what I was doing. And I had to just not listen to what other people were saying, because at that point for 3 days, I felt like the whole world was telling me that I got it all wrong. You know, I felt like I'd done something terrible in the realm of like spirituality. Some bad karma was out to get me. And then I just had to come back to, well, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. And that's what it takes to really get to those higher levels, is you have to just get even more centered, even more aligned, even more expansive from within, knowing that people are just going to do what they want to do. And it's not up to you to listen to everyone else. You just have to follow your guidance. So the more famous you get, the more popular you get, the more, publicity you get, you have to be even more aligned. And it's just you and God, nothing else, and just blinkers on, go for it.
Right, right. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing about that, because um, many of us, we have this fear of how we will be received by others, and what happens is that we keep waiting and waiting and waiting. At some point, we feel that we still, like, we received many guidance, but we still didn't follow that. We didn't act upon that. But I really love that you shared your experience, because it really doesn't matter. It will never happen that everyone will love us, and the focus is about serving those who are ready for what we are here to share, and focus on that. And that's the most important thing. So yeah, thank you. And can we take some questions from, we received some questions
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
audience. So,
absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to.
let's
I
see.
did see there were quite a few actually on the
Yeah,
on the list. Yes.
we have, uh, for example, from Jennifer Woosley from Kansas City. What do I need to know now to catapult me into a peaceful, abundant, well-paid, rewarded life?
Okay, so that is quite a broad question. When it
Mhm.
comes to abundance, I do have a 3-step process to unblock, unlock, and activate your highest wealth potential. Most people will only do one out of the 3 things, but actually to receive true abundance, the first thing you have to do is you actually have to clear a lot of the blockages around that. So that could be things like mindset beliefs. For example, like if you ever grow up believing the concept that you have to work hard to make money, like there's a lot of personal development in that needs to happen in order to be able to accept and receive abundance in a way where it's easy and not having to like work hard. The other element of this is the unlocking component, and some of this is getting into like higher level energetics, because there are frequencies out there in the universe that are already here to support you. Sometimes when it comes to business, whether you're a coach or a healer, whatever, we think that we have to give something in order to get something. So it's really coming from this paradigm of like transactional relationships. Everything is a giving and a getting, but in the divine flow, it's all just giving and blessings. But this is where people get really confused in spirituality. They think, well, okay, then I have to give, and they try and do everything by donation. And I've been down that road. Trust me, it failed miserably. I tried to run a whole business by donation and ended up $20,000 under and wasted a year of my time. It was just like, what am I doing? So I had to learn to get good at business. I've tried the real philanthropic way of doing it, and there's a lot of, I guess, mindset things that need to get shifted in that as well. So when you unlock yourself to the higher frequencies in the universe, what happens is that like I always say, abundance follows alignment, right? When you're in true alignment, the abundance will always follow that. To me, if I ever get to a situation where something is not flowing from a monetary perspective, I will always reevaluate and go, is there alignment in this right now? And alignment could be something as simple as it could be the content, it could be the timing, like the timing release of something. It could just be that it's not the right moment to do something, or it could be that the messaging needs to shift, or maybe I need to start focusing on a different audience or whatever. Like there might be something that's out of misalignment, because as soon as I get back into alignment and everything's in that divine flow again, the money just follows. I mean, to me, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about money. I just know that, I have this mission with God. If God wants me to do the mission, he's going to bring the money, so I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it. It's just kind of there. So that's the, unlocking into the higher, like the higher sort of frequencies. And the third component of that is actually activation work. And this is where I really specialize, right? Because you can, call in all the things, but So what in origin activation, one of the key principles is that everything aligns to the highest frequency. Now, every frequency is available to everyone. I wholeheartedly believe in that. Everything I have, you have access to. Nobody's more special than anyone else. The only thing is that maybe some people have put a little bit more time and energy into tapping into these frequencies. Now, I've got 20 years of meditation down my belt, so I've got a lot of experience in tapping into energetics. And so what happens typically is that with this key philosophy, everything aligns to the highest vibration. When people enter into a container with somebody who's been doing this work a lot longer, what happens is there's an energetic activation that takes place. So it's something as simple like I might run an event, right? And then somebody comes into that event and all I'm doing is holding an energetic container. But because I'm so tapped into that frequency through my years and years of experience, the person that comes in, they get a really accelerated activation and almost initiation into that. So they could spend 10 years getting it themselves, or they could accelerate the process by working with someone who's already holding the frequency. Because what happens is in that room, in that container, everyone's energy wants to naturally lift up into the highest vibration, because by natural law of the universe, everything wants to go back to source. That's another key philosophy that I teach. Everything comes from source. Everything wants to go back to source. Everything aligns to the highest frequency. So why try and do everything on your own when you can enter into spaces, whether it's like a course or a program or an event, with people who've already done the work. And so there is this collective awakening that's happening where people are starting to go, hang on, I don't have to do this all by myself. And so if you're somebody right now who's struggling with abundance, go and hang out in a community with people that are abundant, and you'll just pick up that frequency, and to be fair, you probably have to invest to get into a lot of those communities, because people who are living in abundant communities have invested to get into abundant communities. And so there is that element where you have to be willing to invest in yourself and invest in those energetic containers in order to experience what it's like to be there. Now, I know that at the end of this, we are going to be giving a special offer to our friends here, and that is the quantum wealth activation. So this question is actually really beautifully tied into that, because I do have an exact 12-week program that takes people through the 3-step process to unblock, unlock, and activate that highest potential, which it's all energetic work. There's some practical stuff in there as well. Like you have to still, make you do budgets and some things that some people might find a bit boring, but those are important too. But then there is the energetic side of it, where you learn to connect with the true frequency of Lakshmi and the true golden frequency of money that exists in the universe. And when you receive that activation for yourself, then it accelerates that journey, because you don't have to then meditate for years and years by yourself to be shown those energies. You can just get a reference point for it a lot earlier on. And so a lot of my work that I'm really passionate about is activation work, because once one person has it, you don't need to keep reinventing the wheel. Just go and learn from the person that's done it, and then we can all get there faster. So it's all part of that co-creation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I agree with you. That's when now that there is so many opportunities for us to accelerate our path. And like you said, receiving activation like the ones that you do can really help us to connect much deeper and bring those gifts like even stronger and in a shorter time. And it works like many of our audience, they received activations in different ways, and these things like really work, and we can feel the acceleration in our life. So yeah, so thank you, Isha, and thank you, Jennifer, for your question. We have Amber. I have been working with energy healing for some time now. I am very excited for 2022. I am branching out into providing energy healing in the new year, as well as starting a new online business, making and selling crystal healing devices that are infused with love light healing intentions. I was hoping you could give me any advice or message as to how I can best succeed at this. Thank you so much. Sending out love and light to the collective.
Beautiful. Hi, Amber. So it's great to hear that you are, doing the energy healing. So I guess, again, it's a very big question, how to best succeed at this. First and foremost, get a coach. Don't try and start any business on your own without both a spiritual mentor and a business coach. I think trying to do anything of that nature without having both of these up your belt is setting you up for a very long and arduous journey of learning curves that you don't need to do. See, there's a lot of people who have before you done successful businesses. So find someone who has been successful before you and learn from them, and be willing to invest in that, because like I said, there's no one magic wand to success. I mean, it's not how it works. I mean, I've invested $500,000 in learning from top mentors all around the world to be able to get to where I am today. And there was never just one thing. There were different things at different times. At the earliest stages of my journey, honestly, it was just focusing on getting comfortable at sales, getting comfortable at marketing. And the one thing I did do, actually, I guess this applies to anyone who's just starting out. The one thing that made my studio more successful than most of the other studios in my area was the fact that I always tapped into the consciousness of the business. So every day when I used to go into my studio, and my studio was my first business, it was actually a brick and mortar studio where people would come and they would receive meditations and healings. And we had like yoga, Tai Chi, like all different things. That was my first business. I had that for 5 years. And yeah, the one thing that I did was, I had no experience in business, right? Which is why I got business coaches from day one. But every day I used to go into my studio and I would sit there and I would just feel the energy of the business. And I used to ask, what do you need from me? Because I think sometimes people get really caught up in me, I, like I want to do this and I want to do that. And great, if you want to do that, cool, but most of my clients are operating at a higher level of consciousness where it's not about me or the ego, it's actually about the divine service. And so if you are in divine service, then you recognize that the business that you're creating is really just something that's being birthed through you. It's kind of like, when a mother has a child, you don't have the child for you have the child to give life to the child. It's about, what you're bringing into the world, and business is the same. So the one thing that I did every day was I just used to go into my studio and I would sit there and meditate and I would ask, what do you need from me? And so that really flipped the table, because then it wasn't about, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that. And because that can get very stressful, especially if you don't know what you're doing, you'll just end up overwhelmed with 1,000 actions. Whereas if you actually center yourself and go, what do you need from me? Then that energy will speak to you. Now, sometimes it requires a little bit of, meditation training and practice to be able to get to the point where you can tap into the consciousness of business. And again, this is something that I teach in my courses as well. Once you have that, then running a business from an energetically aligned place becomes a lot easier, because then instead of listening to all the noise out there, and there is so much noise. Every coach will tell you they have the best 3, 5, 7-step system to get you from 0 to 100K months. Like, everyone's sort of talking about it, but it doesn't matter what they're saying, because at the end of the day, it's what's true for you. What is your business asking and requesting of you in this moment? And so again, for me, it all comes down to energetics when it comes to business. It's what is the consciousness of that? How can I be in heart-centered service? What are the areas in my life that I need to up level? And so sometimes my business would literally tell me, can you paint the walls? Can you do this? Can you put this post up? Can you, there were times when my business said, go hire this mentor, and they were scary decisions for me at the time, because we're talking like, $30,000-$70,000 investments back at the time when I was just like brand new. And again, I followed the guidance every time. And other times it was something really simple, like, hey, Isha, can you please take some rest today? And that's a big one, because sometimes people they can listen to the action part of it, but then they don't take enough time for themselves. And so sometimes my business would be like, Isha, we need you to rest and be aligned, because next week it's going to get really busy. And so sometimes I would have to listen to the stillness of just being in that space. And other times they'd be like, Isha, we're going to run an open day together. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. And we're going to hire all these people. And I'm like, what? That's nuts. I've never done that before. And so the whole process was guided through the consciousness of the business, of course, with supportive mentors as well, because there's a real strategic element in business too. And I'm really big on always advocating for that. But for anyone who's just starting out, and for you, Amber, as well, learn to connect with the consciousness of your business. Actually sit in that space and recognize that your business is an energetic entity. It has its own life force. You are actually in service to it, not the other way around. And when you recognize that, the divinity in that, then what happens is you create a relationship between you and your business where you're feeding the business, but your business is also feeding you. And that's the abundance part of it. Because when your business is truly aligned, then the money part of it will naturally flow back to you. And so then your business will equally support you in a very symbiotic relationship as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Isha. And also thank you, Amber, for your question. Let's see, we have Dada. She asks, what is my origin and how do I align to my origin frequency to guide me on my path? I often experience lows due to many responsibilities, and I am longing to clear guidance, helping me to manifest with grace and ease. It is my intention to be in service to others, but first of all, I need help to heal. With today's earth energies, healing and manifesting could be easier than ever before. And I just like to get that kickstart for my body, mind, and soul. I thank you both for your amazing work and help. Blessings and peace.
Beautiful. So Dada, yeah, so again, I've been where you are, like we all come in with these beautiful intentions. We want to serve, but we need to look after ourselves as well. One of the first things I get people to do when they join any of my programs, any of my courses, is we get you started on what I call the 4 foundation practices. And the 4 foundation practices are a series of tools that it's actually it's a guided meditation. It's a 17-minute meditation that I've created, and everybody starts there, because what you do in that is you learn how to connect with yourself first, because you're right, you can't do anything until you have that inner connection, and it's as simple as like the first of the 4 foundation practices is you breathe into what we call the heart star. And your heart star is the inner light of your soul. It's a light that we all have. It's nothing artificial that comes from outside. It's like it's that light of your soul that is already within your heart center. And so what you can do as a daily practice is you can breathe into that heart star, and then all I do every day is I just radiate that energy out. So I radiate my frequency out through the energy field. And it's especially good for people that get really I guess caught up in other people's energies. Like some people might identify as being empaths, or very sensitive to energy. And so what this practice does is it just clears all of that, because in order for you to do what it is that you're here to do, to live your mission and your purpose, you need to first come back to your frequency. Now, in that question as well is, what is my origin frequency? And well, I mean, to me, the purest source of everything is what you call God, universe, source, whatever name you want to put on it. It's the point of creation. And we are that. We always have been that. It's not like God is separate to us. It's like we are that consciousness, because we have been made with the very same essence of creation, and we are that creation, and it's just that at the moment here on earth, we're experiencing through this, the veil or illusion of separation, but in reality, we are all one. We are one consciousness. And so in that one consciousness, the origin frequency for us is all the same. It's that pure God source energy. And we can find that by tapping into, into our heart centers, into your heart chakra. You breathe into that light and you can just feel. And so we start off with that. And then what I get people to do is I get them to breathe from their heart into the center of the earth. And that just aligns you into the vertical alignment with the earth energies. And then you breathe all the way up from the earth into your heart, and then up through the crown and up to source. And so that just creates a very steady alignment, because I find that a lot of people, they can get very, I guess, swayed by energies. It's like, when your vertical alignment is not strong, you can get pulled off center very easily. So it's important to, every day, just take a breath into your heart center, breathe into the earth, breathe up to source, breathe that white light out. And that just brings you back into that center point so that you can continue on and just be more, I guess, grounded and centered throughout the day as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much, Isha. And also thank you, Dada, for your question. We have a question from Caroline Smith. Since the work you do is on the quantum level, when you heal someone, can you also heal their past life traumas and all issues that we bring with us from past lives and events? And if this is indeed the case, will this affect our other selves in these past lives and ultimately change and heal those lives as well? I appreciate any insight you can give on this subject.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I mean, time is non-linear. So any healing work that you do in this reality, in this body, will always impact other lives, soul aspects, etc., that you have. Yeah, pretty much all the work that I do goes across multi-dimensions. So it goes across past lives, other dimensional lives. Like we're talking, we have soul aspects, not just living past lives in this planet, but also other lives on other planets and other dimensional realities, other galaxies, other universes, and they're all connected, because your soul frequency ultimately is one frequency. So we have the higher self, which is like the umbrella of all of that, and then under that you've got all your soul aspects. So like for me, for example, I've got a 5th dimensional self called Lily, who is currently on board a starship called the Aru Terra. long story, can't go into all of that on this one call, but I have connected through the years with many soul aspects of mine. So I know I'm very consciously aware of past lives on like earthly lives, but also other lives. For example, I've got an angelic self in the 9th dimension. I've got Lily in the 5th dimension. I've got soul aspects on Pleiades, Arcturian, like so many different planets, like Aldebaran and like Polarins and like all these different things. And so any work that I do in this lifetime is always going to have some thread of connection to other lives as well, but it also goes the other way. So sometimes we can also receive healing and guidance from those other soul aspects because we're all working together, right? So all these other soul aspects are also right now helping those of us that are on earth right now to ascend. And as we tap into those other frequencies that we have access to, it really puts things into a different perspective. It's not just about, little old me here in the 3D that needs healing. It's like, well, hang on a second, maybe that part's just an illusion. Maybe it's just like, we need to see the bigger picture of what's really going on, and we can tap into this guidance and this assistance. So yes, absolutely, all work we do is quantum. So this is the thing, one of the things I will say is I don't actually necessarily do a lot of healing work on people anymore. I used to very much started off my journey as an energy healer. These days I'm way more excited about teaching people how to do it for themselves. So when I do activation work with people, what I'm actually doing is setting people up for the long term in order to be able to heal themselves, because there's nothing that I can do that you can't do. So if you're willing to put in the time and the energy, I mean, yes, you can go see a healer and you can have a couple of sessions, or you can, take the time to learn how to do it yourself and have that skill for life. And that's what I do now. So for me now, I typically work with people who are at the stage where they're wanting to learn how to do it for themselves, on themselves, maybe even, for their friends and family. So I actually have the Origin Activation Practitioner training where we train trainers in this work as well, because it's all possible. Things are accelerating so quickly. And so if you can learn how to do it on yourself, then what's stopping you from maybe helping, your children or even your pets or your loved ones or anything like that as well? So yeah, I see a much bigger picture and vision in all of this and what's capable.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that because I believe like all of us, we have these abilities within us. And when we receive this kind of help to be able to do this work by our own, it can be really, really empowering and accelerating to our path. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, sometimes people go, oh, but can I really do it? You've been doing this for so long. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I've helped so many people do this work now. I know that if you work with me for 2 years, by the end of 2 years, it's almost guaranteed, like provided you do all the meditations and all the things, it'd be impossible to not learn how to do it,
Yeah.
You still have to be willing to put in the daily practice, you still have to do the work. You can't just like join a program and assume that some magic thing is going to happen. You still have to sit and do, the day-to-day
Right.
activities. But yeah, I mean, usually within about 3 months, most people learn how to connect to their higher self. So 3 months is not a long time. If you like, you can go and see a healer, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Maybe you've even had like 10, 15, 20 Reiki sessions or, whatever with someone else. If you do 3 months of actually learning how to do it for yourself and you can connect to your higher self, suddenly that's a game changer. And that's a pretty common milestone for a lot of people. And then you extend that to 6 months, 12 months. By the end of 2 years, you should be able to heal yourself and do most things on your own. And then great, then you can go and help more people. So yeah, I think there's a much more empowering pathway in healing, which I'm passionate about, because it puts the healing power back into the individual. It's not about going to see a healer. It's about how can I unlock that power within myself so that I can then do it and I can then be in that same space and embodying that for myself.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Isha. And also thank you, Caroline, for your question. Yeah, so Isha, I feel maybe it will be a very good time to talk about the Quantum Wealth Activation, the 12-week program that we are offering for our audience. And I invite everyone to visit the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Isha, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Isha, EESHA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which comes with the call page. So yeah, so Isha, I would love if you can tell us more about that and what our audience can expect from doing the program.
Right. Yeah. So quantum wealth activation is my little baby that I created last year because, I noticed that there were a lot of people out there that like coaches, healers, entrepreneurs who have amazing gifts. So many of you have such incredible gifts, right? And you just need to get the money part sorted, and this is where sometimes, when your upper chakras are really open and you've got the guidance, you've got the gifts, you've got the capacity to do it, but you just need that little bit of grounding. This is where quantum wealth activation comes in. It allows you to unblock some of the blockages in the root chakra, the sacral chakra, because your sacral chakra is all things money, right? So what we do is we really focus on some of that deep lower level work. We again, we follow the 3-step process of unblock, unlock, and activate your highest wealth potential, and we go through step by step in this 12-week course all the steps that you need in order to start manifesting more money, opening yourself up to receive more clients. We've got some incredible testimonials. I think the record we've had to date is within the first week of doing the program, one person manifested $18,000, the other person manifested 27,000 pounds, which is about $50,000. Of course, these are outliers. You know, results do vary from person to person, and some people do, you know, take their time going through the course and really doing that. But basically, yeah, it's designed to give you that next level of energetic boost, so that if you have been struggling with money, this is the course to do, and it's worth so much more than what we've priced it at. I mean, at the moment we've got a special going, and particularly for your audience as well, we're actually gifting it to you guys for $197. I mean, it's peanuts, you know. Normally it's $1,000 for the course, and we've done a special deal for you guys. So yeah, so for anyone here who is, you know, in that boat where they're going, I have these gifts, but I just want to take that money part of it to the next level, this is the course to join, because you'll get the step-by-step videos to watch. You'll get the, you know, the guidance on how to unblock, unlock, activate that highest wealth potential. And a lot of people that go through the course, they find that they end up lifting those money ceilings, clearing those blockages. And we have so many stories of people just, you know, magically manifesting clients, or even just receiving money. Sometimes people, like, we've had instances in the past where somebody has been owed money by a friend or something like that, and it's been like years. Like one client, Jody, she told us that her friend owed her money from 3 years ago, and then she did some of this money work, and then the friend just paid it back, and like 3 years down the track, you know, it was like, of course it's related to doing the work. And so yeah, it's just opening up those channels of abundance so that you can be more grounded. And ultimately my intention for you is that when you do this course, you will be able to then get out into the world and do more of the work that you're good at and get paid at the same time, because that's how we can help more people in a really grounded way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing this program with our audience. And yeah, I really love that you are sharing this, because like you said, like one of the most important things that we need to do is invest in ourselves, and learning and connecting more deeply to ourselves, and activating like those abilities, and also at the same time finding those community of people who create more, who serve, and who are maybe creating more and more abundance in their life. And also, when we take care of the money part, the financial part in our life, it really helps us with all of this, and helps us to amplify those experience, because also there are also many limiting beliefs that maybe money is related to greed or something, but if we change that, money really can help us to serve even more, and to help more, and also to have experiences that will serve us even more. So yeah, thank you so much, Isha, for offering this program on our show. And I invite everyone to sign up for the program. And again, the link to sign up is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Isha, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Isha, EESHA. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the call page. And also, Isha, you are hosting this on February, your telesummit. Would you like to share about it also?
Yeah, absolutely. So the 22nd of February is a major galactic portal. So 22222, it's a lot of twos. And so, yes, we have brought together a 3-day summit with some incredible speakers. We've got in the 3 areas of health, business, and spirituality. We have a number of absolute, you know, global leaders, pioneers who are bringing very fresh ideas into the conversation of spirituality, awakening, and how to create, you know, a conscious business, and also just, yeah, getting our gifts out there in the world. So it's called the Global Awakening Summit. So yeah, I think you've got a link. Global Awakening Summit.live is our link. You can go there and sign up. We'd love to see you guys there. It's a free event. So it's really just going to be 3 days of incredible magic, speakers, a few gifts for you guys as well. There will be energetic activations throughout that as well. So you actually get to experience some of my work and be on the receiving end of these, you know, clearing blockages and all that kind of stuff as well. So we are really, really excited to utilize this powerful gateway and, yeah, just bring more light onto the planet. So we'd love to see you guys there.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Isha. And also, everyone, I invite you to sign up for these events. It will be really, really powerful. So the link for it's also on the on the call page. So you'll find a button there and just click on it and you'll be able to sign up after that. And yeah, so Isha, thank you so much for the time you spent with us, for the inspiration and all this guidance you gave us. Yeah, it was really a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monsef. Always the pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. And yeah, also thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us today, for listening to us. And also thank you for those who asked their questions. And again, you will find the links for both the 12-week program and the telesummit on the call page. And yeah, so with that, everyone, I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.